Welcome back to Wilderness Wanderings from the Word. In the Word, I'm here at the wonderful library at Lakeland Church in Carbondale, and I belong to a great church called Lakeland Church. We meet at 709 South Giant City Road, and if you're not finding fellowship in another New Testament believing church, come join us. Bible studies at 9:30, worships at 10:45. We start with a dad joke, then we start with a question for the day, a question that somebody's been asking about the gospel, and then we enter into worship. We'd love to have you. Come join us, online or in person, either one. In person would be better because I look much better in person than I do online. Our reading today is Acts 24 through 26. And my scripture passage is Acts chapter 26, verse 23 through 32. I've entitled this, Almost Persuaded. That Christ, the Anointed One, must suffer, and that he, by being the first to rise from the dead, would declare and show light both to the Jewish and the Gentiles. As he thus proceeded, Paul was saying in his defense. Festus said in a loud voice, "Paul, you're out of your mind. Having your great learning is driving you mad." But Paul said, "I'm not out of my mind, most excellent Festus, but I utter words of sober truth. For the king knows about these matters, and I speak to him also with confidence, since I'm persuaded that none of these things escape his notice. For this has not been done in a corner. King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? I know that you do." Agrippa replied to Paul, "In such a short time, you think you'll persuade me to be a Christian?" And Paul said, "Oh, I wish to God that whether a short time or long time, not only you, but all those who hear me today might become such as I am, except for these chains." Almost persuaded. King Festus and King Agrippa both knew the miracles that Paul was talking about. They knew because they had not just heard them, but some of them had seen the miracles. Because Paul says these were not done in a corner. Jesus doesn't do anything in a hidden way to hide himself from you. How many of you thought God's playing hide and seek with you? He's not. Problem is you're playing hide and seek with God. He's not running from you, you're running from him. If you'd stop and turn around, he'd be right there. Now I want you to listen to what Paul says when King Agrippa says, "Do you think in such a short time or a long time you can persuade me to be a Christian?" And Paul says, "Oh, whether it's a short time or a long time, I don't really care. But I would like you to know the Jesus that I know. I want you to be just like me." And then he holds up his chains with a little sense of humor and says, "I don't think I want you to have these chains. I've already got those. You don't need those." Paul had such a way to declare the glory of Christ to men as winsome. Humor sometimes was used. Sarcasm was used. Passion was used. And you can imagine as he lifted up his hands to show the chains, the scars that would have been evident on his body already by then. He said, "I want you to know Jesus, the one who scarred me for life, that you might know that he's worthy of this." So Paul would say to King Agrippa and Festus and to you, if it takes a long time or short time, it doesn't matter to me, but I want you to know Jesus. And that's why we do these devotions every day. That's why we preach the gospel as we do at Lakeland. We want you to know Jesus. And if it means that I have to do a dad joke to get you there, or use sarcasm or passion, Paul, like me, will say, "I've become all things to all people in order that I might win some." And I hope some of those are those that are watching and listening today. You have a great day.